Hello there, students. So this is Microsoft Access, and just by looking at it, it probably looks like the startup screen to your Excel. And yeah, we've got ourselves our asset tracking. We got all our pre-built ones over here. We're just going to start off with a blank database, and in this video, I'm just going to show you basically some of the things involving Microsoft Access. And then we will go on into what you're actually making this week in your assignment in a little bit. So first and foremost, just by looking at it, it already looks pretty similar. We've got our ribbon, so we've got, our got our, our home tab over here, our create tab, our external data tab, database, help, fields, table, so on and so forth. So here's the way it goes. Now, first thing you probably want to notice is you notice that there are two different close buttons over here. This top one, that's for closing the entire program. So if I close that, boom, it's gone, it's out. Let me bring this back up. Access, there it is. And I'll bring this back up. But if I were to instead simply close table 1 is gone, but the program itself is back up. So if I were to go File, New, blank database, here we go. Let me just rename this guy. I'll name it. Actually, let me just put in something here just to say that there's something to save. So that'll be field 1, something to save, and I'll even just rename this with simple, right click. Oh, that's right, because I'm using the option control. There it goes. Yes, I'm on a laptop Mac, so right-clicking is a little bit different for me than it is for you. You should be able to get to this to right-click. Can't rename it while it's open. Oh, that's right. Let me close it out and save changes. Yes, I'll save changes. And I'll save this as, sure, why not? I'll name this as student example. Okay. So now, if you notice, when I click that little X, my table is still there, but my program is still up. So that red X right up there, that's the closing the program. The little X that's right here would wind up just closing the table itself, the little object. And I can still have it over here on this left-hand side, double-click it, and it comes back. I can simply keep making new and new and new stuff. And so if I were to, go into create, here's another table, and now I have another table here. And you see I have two tables underneath my table. And I'll just, I don't know, I'll type something else in here, just a bunch of random numbers, and close that out. And yeah, I'll save the design of table 1, and I'll name this, example table 2. Okay, so now as you see, I have two tables over here, and I can even click it, like there's 1, there's 2, and you notice I now have 2 tabs right here for my different sheets. Before, they were down here at the bottom in Excel. Now everything is up here, and all the elements are right over here on the side. So you can essentially make an entire project and have it all the stuff that you need for said project right here. So think of this area right here as a big folder to grab all the items you want. And you can simply click off and close specific items. Like right now I'm on my student example tab. If I close it out, it's closed out. Now the only tab I have is my example 2 tab. But my item is still there. Now, of course, by renaming items or whatnot, by right-clicking, you have to make sure you're closed out of the item before you can do it. Like I'll rename this and I'll say, now renamed. And now when I open it up, it says now renamed. That's all it is as far as things happen. So you have yourself your home tab right here, which is your, your copy, your paste, your ascending, descending views, stuff that is generally used often in the program: bold, italic, underline, color, fill color, so on and so forth. Then you have your create tool, where you can just create different stuff based on your tables and whatnot, or even just create more table. You can import and export stuff from other programs and external data. You have database tools, which, we can do relationships, which we'll do later. And then we have, our fields, like what type of field this is, and, tables, in the properties of whatnot. So, generally, the one thing you'll probably notice as well as I keep clicking, even though my mouse is over here, I'm clicking, and even though there's still rows and columns, I can't click anywhere. I can only click inside an active field. Things do not activate for me until you create them. So for example, I'm clicking right here, right to the right of this. Nothing's happening. I have to physically type in something, and then a new field will be added. See how this says field 1, field 2, and this says click to add and whatnot. I can keep clicking over here, nothing's going to happen. I have to click in here, enter, and then the new field will add in to do that. Same thing with, so that works with columns, it also works with rows. So right now I'm trying to click down here below this in like row 3 or 4. Nothing's happening. I have to type in something in row 2, and then row 3 will open up allowing me to do something. So, see how this one says new, and now when I type something in, now this guy right here says new instead. It will only add stuff based on how much stuff you already have in the program, if that makes sense to you. So, with that being said, there's also different types of stuff that you can have. Let me just go into example 2 here just to showcase this. So I'm just going to click to add this one thing right here, and I'll add in a number. And you know what, I'll just, so now I have numbers because I named it because I made them numbers. Now let's see what happens when I try to add in something like text, like, I don't know, hello world. The value entered does not match the number type. So if you go in and you click in, when you click this add and you say, oh, I'm making this a number, see this little drop-down menu, you can make it a hyperlink, you can make it an attachment, you can make it a yes-no. So if I were to say a yes-no, you see how it has the little checkbox? It can only physically be a yes or a no. If I go in and make this a currency, well, it has to be, it will be in currency form. It'll always be in a currency format. I can't simply go and put in dollar bills, y'all, because that's not physically a currency. It's not going to work that way. So whatever type of field you name it, whatever type of field you make, it can only accept certain types of data. You can't go number to text. You can't go number to currency. You can't go number to yes, no, so on and so forth. So if you say that this guy right here is going to be, short text, that means the entire column is short text. The entire column is going to be in currency. The entire column is going to be in yes, no. The entire column is going to be a number, so on and so forth. Now, you might have noticed, let me just change that first so to get rid of the error. You may have also noticed that this ID right here, happens 1, 2, 3, 4. I never even typed anything in there, but by typing something in, I now have it pops in automatically, like that 6 just popped in automatically. So, what that does, that is what is known as an auto number. It will automatically keep things the same. It will automatically add something new over and over and over again. The program will automatically create this for you. This is to ensure that there's no part of data that's the same. And I'll elaborate more on that in the next video.